Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are with the chicken eggs today, hatching our chicken eggs. And one little guy has already started to hatch. Now he is a little bit early, to be honest. Hatch day isn't actually for another day and a half. But there this little dude is. One little dark dude. He's looking pretty good. He just hatched. Now, we do not take him out now. Do not overreact, open the incubator, and grab him. Don't do that, okay? He is looking good. He's fine for up to 3 days. So we're just going to leave him alone, and we're just going to keep track of everyone else. Now, 3 days from now, he has to come out anyway, okay? Whether he is looking good or not. So we also have, so we can turn this gently. If we look under that egg there, we have some pipping happening. So that egg is broken up a little bit because its occupant is trying to hatch. There's a couple other eggs in here that are pipped. Okay, just a couple, not a ton. But there's a couple eggs in here that are pipped and are going to start to hatch. So we do have to keep track of when this little one hatched. Okay, we do have to keep track. It's important. There he goes. But we have to keep track because he needs to come out 3 days from now. So 3 days from now, even if these other guys aren't hatched, he's got to come out. So I'm hoping the rest have hatched by then. They usually do. But he's a little bit early. That's okay. Early arrivals happen. They're not machines. Okay? They're critters with their own schedule. And his schedule is now. So we're going to keep tabs on these guys, and we're going to come back and check on them. Make sure everyone's looking good and hatching as they should. Right now, we do have a couple that are pipped. So I do expect more babies in the next 24 hours. But we'll keep checking. Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Chicks are hatching. Let's give this a little rotate and talk about what you can do and what you should do when your chicks are hatching. So, at some point on day 20, you might start to hear some peeping coming from your incubator, okay? But you won't see any chicks yet. This means that at least one chick has pipped internally. So, if you look right here at this egg right here, that's an external pip. You can see he's breaking through the shell. An internal pip is when they've broken through that internal membrane, but there's no external pip yet. Okay? So that's what an internal pip is. When internal pipping happens, you are going to start hearing some cheeping. Expect an external pip, a small crack in the shell in the next 24 hours after you hear that. So we have, I think, 4 or 5 chicks now hatched, and we've got multiple others in process. So once you see the external pip, which normally happens day 21 or so, make absolutely sure you leave this incubator closed. This is the danger zone. They're fine unless you open the incubator, okay? You want to keep that humidity up so that this chick who's trying to hatch doesn't end up shrink wrapped with his membrane all stuck on him. Okay, you don't want that membrane to shrink wrap onto him. That's not good. Hopefully, before pipping started, your incubator was above 50% humidity. Not super high, okay, but above 50% is good. Look at those chickens. Look at those chickens. So once pipping starts, so once you start getting these cracks in the egg, and once these little babies start doing their baby thing, once they start doing their baby thing, look at that chicken. So once they start doing their thing, you might notice that the humidity goes up. Okay, that's normal. Very normal. It might read as high as 85%, and you haven't added any water since it started hatching. That's normal. As chicks hatch, the moisture from the eggs is released. Chicks hatch wet, so when they dry, they contribute to the humidity. If you're concerned, you can open a vent or two for a little while, but it's not usually necessary. If your humidity was not super high when you started, so 50 to 60%, then the increase in humidity from the eggs hatching is not going to be significant enough to hurt the eggs. If your humidity was like 75, it actually might start raining in your incubator at some point. Look at that chicken. Oh, look at the babies. They're babies. I love babies. So just sit back, watch the show. Don't get too concerned about the humidity shooting up. That's normal. After the chick pips, it'll start to zip. So this is a pip, and you can see the egg beside it is zipped nicely in a circle. Okay? That zip is when the chick rotates itself around the inside of the egg and breaks through the shell. Okay? Just like that. It literally looks like a zipper. That's why we call it a zip. When this starts happening, so this guy's actually going to start zipping in a minute. When that zipping starts to happen, a chick is going to emerge right away. Don't be tempted to help the chicks. Don't help. Okay? Okay, you see that? That pipping, that chipping away at the shell? It's kind of tempting to go in and be like, oh, I'll help him out. Don't. Don't help. He doesn't need your help. Okay, leave him alone. First of all, he probably doesn't need help. Okay? Just because we think everyone should be hatched by the end of day 21 doesn't mean they will be. Some chicks didn't get the message. Okay, some chicks hatch early, and some are like, nah, I'm not going to hatch till tomorrow, man. Some take longer to hatch than others. Expect that it'll take 36 hours from the first external pip here until the majority of your eggs are hatched. Don't help them hatch, give them time. Okay? There might inevitably be a chick or two who start to hatch and just don't make it. Either they pass away after they've started hatching, or they hatch but die. That happens. It's tragic, it's sad, it's not anyone's fault. If a chick is in distress, opening the incubator will only compromise the remaining chicks. And there's generally not a heck of a lot you can do anyway. Can chicks be helped a little bit? Yeah, if you're good at it. But for the most part, there's likely nothing you can do anyway, and you might even kill a healthy chick as you try to assist unnecessarily. The number of times somebody tries to help and they didn't need to help, and therefore they ended up killing the chick that might have been fine otherwise, is a little ridiculous. So don't help. Okay? Let them be unless you're an experienced hatcher and know what you're doing. And your first hatch, I promise you do not know what you're doing. Okay? You don't know how to hatch, how to help if this is the first time you're watching this happen. So just calm down. Don't help. Leave the chicks in the incubator until they're dry and fluffy. Typically 24 hours after the last one is hatched. Removing a chick from the warmth and safety of the incubator early can result in chicks who catch a chill and die. So provided everybody started hatching at not a crazy time, like so you didn't have one hatching crazy early or one hatching crazy late, generally 24 hours after that last chick has hatched, you can, I'm just going to turn this so you can see the babies a little bit better. Hi guys. But about 24 hours after that last egg has hatched, you can start removing them and putting them into your brooder. Okay? Don't remove them early. So leave them in there. They can stay in the incubator for up to 2 or 3 days. You can snuggle the chicks later. They're going to be just as cute 3 days from now, I promise. So when it looks like everyone is done hatching, carefully remove the live chicks from the incubator. I will do a setting up your brooder and transferring the chicks next week. But right now, we're just going to talk about what you're doing with the hatcher. So you're going to move everyone from the incubator into your brooder. Check everyone over once or twice, making sure they look healthy. Place them in your brooder. When they're all safe in the brooder, you're going to come back to the incubator. So we're going to talk about the brooder next time, and I'll talk specifically about the brooder. But right now, I want to talk about what to do with the eggs that don't hatch. You may have one or two. It happens. So there may be a few eggs that didn't hatch. One by one, pick up those eggs and hold them to your ear. Listen closely. If you hear cheeping, there's still a chick in there. Put it back in the incubator. Let it go. Okay, put it back in the incubator. Turn the incubator on and leave it. It might hatch a couple days late. You also might hear scratching or other sounds. Put live eggs back. Okay? Sometimes they do need a little bit more time. So double check before you chuck your eggs. Okay? Listen closely. Give them a tap. Be gentle, but check. The eggs won't all make it, but give the live ones a shot. Don't give up on life. Life finds a way. When you're sure nothing else will hatch, discard the unhatched eggs. Clean your incubator and follow your manufacturer's directions for that. I talked about maintaining an incubator in a different video. And when you're finished, pack it away or get it ready for your next hatch. Don't store an incubator that is dirty. You're not going to have fun doing that. So, hatch rates. Okay, let's talk about hatch rates for a second. Hatch rates are funny things. Sometimes you'll have 100% hatch rate. Every egg you put in hatches. Every single egg develops and hatches, and you're having a great time. Other times you'll only get a few chicks from an entire clutch. If that happens, it doesn't necessarily mean you did anything wrong. Consistently getting more than 50% of your eggs to hatch is respectable. You will hear people talk about 90 and 100% hatch rates, and that's excellent. But if you're getting 50%, that's fine too. It's okay. Shipped eggs have a lower hatch rate. But even with your own eggs, everything doesn't always go perfectly. Okay, I'm just going to turn this light on. There we go. Ah, now you can see a little bit. I don't like that, having the light on, but just a baby. So we're just going to have the light on for the last couple minutes. I don't like having light on them for too long. But there we go. Just a light. Just a baby. Isn't it cute? They're all cute. They're not all done hatching, clearly. You know, we have some pips going on and some babies that are going to hatch. And they're not done hatching. They're mid-hatch. So, hatch rates. It's fine to get a lower hatch rate. I typically get 90+% with my own eggs, but these guys were shipped if you've been following along. So if half of the eggs that are in here hatch, I'll be pretty happy about it. So, seriously, it doesn't matter that much, okay? So just, if you get some to hatch, happy days. Don't beat yourself up if you only have a 60% hatch rate and people in your online hatching groups are getting 80 or 90%. First of all, people lie online. Okay, people lie. They do, I promise. People lie. And second of all, it's fine to not get 80 or 90%. Now, if you're selling hatching eggs, you do have to have a pretty high fertility and hatch rate just to be able to sell them. But otherwise, you really don't. You're probably fine. So that is it for the hatching process. The next video will be transferring chicks to the brooder. That guy just hatched, if you're wondering what's going on back there. That guy literally just hatched. So we will turn this. See how wet he is? He literally just came out of the egg. So that's why he's flopping around trying to figure out, man, I got legs. Get out of the way, black guy. So he's just learning that he has legs, which is kind of hilarious. So he just came out of the egg just now. Okay? And this egg is hatching more and more every second. So, yeah. This is what's going on. Anyway, that is about it for the hatching process. We will come back and catch up with chicks a little bit later when we talk about brooding and transferring them to the brooder and keeping them safe while they are in the brooder. At any rate, that's about it for us here at Andersen Acres. We will see you tomorrow.